This animation of one of John Bandini's many original ideas has been created to provide a basic overview of the concepts presented in U.S. Patent 6545444, device and method for utilizing a monopole motor to create back EMF to charge batteries. For more information, please visit and contribute with the ongoing message board located at the address shown. Although the detailed construction is not the focus of this animation, I would point out some key elements. Firstly, the power coil winding as highlighted. The trigger coil winding, which is wound in such a way as to keep the polarity, the transformer dot notation, the same as the power coil winding. The third winding is known as the recovery coil. Also of key importance is the orientation of the rotor's magnets. Notice the magnets are placed on the wheel such that each magnet's north pole is facing outwards. Here I have arbitrarily selected a starting point for the energizer, the wheel, which in this case is spinning in a clockwise rotation. As the magnet approaches the stator, the moving magnetic field causes a back EMF voltage to be induced upon all three windings as per standard electromagnetic theory. Similar reasoning will determine that the stator pole is being magnetized to create a polarized north-south pair. Although a back EMF voltage is being induced upon all three windings simultaneously, current will only flow if it sees a closed path. In this case, the recovery coil winding has a closed path through the rectifying diodes and into the recovery capacitor, as shown by the red arrows. As the magnetic field increases their coupling with the stator pole, so too does the induced voltage increase. For the recovery coil, this means the current flow increases. For the trigger coil, highlighted here in green, the voltage will rise but has not yet passed the transistor's base emitter junction threshold, and so this transistor remains open-circuited. Eventually, the voltage increases beyond the transistor's threshold and begins to conduct current through the trigger coil winding. With the power coil path now closed through the transistor, current flows in the winding and generates an electromagnetic field, flux, in the opposite direction as that produced by the magnet. The opposing fields in the stator's core add together in superposition, and by design will exactly cancel out. Well, almost exactly. As you will see from the construction notes, the electromagnetic field generated by the power coil should just barely cause a repulsion. The primary coil's field causes the stator to reverse polarization. Now, the north pole is at the top of the stator and the south is at the bottom. Because the magnet is now seeing a north pole, it begins to be repulsed. As the opposing flux increases, the voltage across the trigger coil decreases. However, current is still flowing, and thus the energizer wheel is still seeing a repulsion and continues to be moved in the clockwise rotation. At the moment the trigger coil voltage is no longer able to maintain the transistor threshold, it turns off rapidly. That is, it stops the flow of current through the power coil winding by open-circuiting the loop. As is commonly understood, inductors, such as the coil winding, have stored energy that suddenly has nowhere to go. So the voltage increases dramatically, easily 10 times more than the supply battery voltage. This large voltage spike will cause a flux to be generated in the stator core, again causing further wheel magnet repulsion, and induce a current flow in the closed loop recovery circuit. So now you have a good understanding of John Bandini's Energizer circuit. Let's watch it in full motion.